Hello, my name is Jerome and welcome to my RC construction station. Today I'm going to talk about how I narrowly avoided the collapse of my screened-in porch due to the dirt box that I have back here. So recently I wanted to have my deck repaired. Some of the boards were getting bad on it, and I called several companies out to give me quotes on replacing the boards. And while inspecting the deck, which I'll show you that's my new deck, but I didn't have a mess with the screen porch. But as they inspected underneath, they noticed that the boards, the joists under there, were severely bowed, and they were bowed due to the weight of all of this dirt that I have in here, because I use this to play with my excavators. And so one of the companies I discussed, the guy who actually noticed it gave me an excellent remedy on how he could fix this screened in porch joist as well as redo my deck. So now I'm going to take you to show you underneath the porch. So here's the solution under the porch, this long beam. It is 2-inch by 8-inch beam in thickness, and it spans entirely underneath the porch. They put 3 footers, the post you see going into the ground. They got this long beam, which is 2 of them, one on each side of the post, and they actually cut a notch in one side of the post to rest the beam on, and the board on the other side of the porch, they bolted the 2 beams together. They took a jack and jacked it up so that all of the joists are now perfectly straight. There's no more sagging in there or threat of my porch collapsing, because I told him he had to figure out a way to fix it, because I wasn't going to stop excavating up there. And I'll show you the new deck, and then I'll go show you the modification I made to my digging box last week before the porch repair came. This is the new deck. And these are all the carpenter's tools. They're 98% finished, but they're not finished yet. So when I first built this sandbox, I was playing with Huina excavators, and I got a Volvo 160E electric excavator. And the bottom of this sandbox was originally just a tarp. As you can see here, I still have that tarp there, so the sand didn't just empty out onto the carpet in my porch. And the forks from the buckets of those start ripping up the canvas. So next I put some plywood down there, and eventually the plywood started to disintegrate because I have to water the dirt periodically, or it behaves like sand and it collapses. And as you can see now in this dirt mound, the dirt will bind together if I put water in it. So at that point, I removed the wood planks I had at the bottom of this. I replaced them, and I put thick plastic over it, almost like plastic tarps. And that worked pretty well until I got this Lesu excavator, which is really big, and its bucket is very aggressive, which is this bucket here, and it started ripping up the plastic almost immediately. So with that, I tried to think of something else I could do, and I found polycarbonate, which they use for bulletproof glass, which is virtually indestructible, and acrylic, which is similar, but it's not as heavy. So I went to Home Depot and looked at both. I wanted the polycarbonate, but it was so heavy, I knew I wouldn't be able to drag it in here and cut it to the dimensions that I needed. So I bought the acrylic, and that's what I have. If you look down on the floor here, you see it's shiny and reflective. And this acrylic is what they use for windows inside of businesses. or office buildings when they don't want to use glass. So it's very, very durable. When the teeth of the the excavator's bucket scratches along there, which I don't use the teeth in here. I actually have this extra bucket and I did not attach the teeth. It just drags along the bottom of it and it works well. It holds the dirt in. It's not affected by the moisture when I water the dirt, and it's been great so far. So this is my update to give you some kind of warnings of what could happen if you decide to build a dirt box in your porch or on your deck. And it's going to have to, the support underneath is going to have to be reinforced, or over time it's headed to disaster. So this is my tips and me sharing today. If you like what you saw, click like, and I'll bring you some more tips later. Peace.